These are my first impressions for the 2025 GR Corolla. So for the 2025 model year, Toyota brought out a brand new bumper on the GR Corolla with a bunch of parking sensors, as you can see right there and right here, as well as more openings for air into the brake ducts, as well as into the radiator, intercooler, and other places as well, which these little vents we'll get to in a second. The one caveat though that I think a lot of people are not necessarily upset about, but just kind of sad about, is the loss of the fog lights. They're not here anymore. So you're gonna have to find a better way to light up the underside of fog from now on. Moving on to these new openings, these actually serve a major purpose on both sides. This one is for all models that you decide to get it with. It's either gonna be the Premium or the Premium Plus, which comes standard with this. And that's gonna be a sub radiator. That's gonna help cool the engine along with the radiator that it already has in it. So with that extra air coming in, you're gonna need to extract it somehow, and that's what the side vents are gonna be for as well. And moving on to the driver's side of the bumper, we have an enclosed area as well. It still lets air in just a little bit. It's gonna help to cool down the automatic transmission and help the overall cooling capabilities of this side of the engine bay. Moving on to the hood, we have the hood vents from the Circuit Edition of the 23 and 24 models. This is the Premium Plus, so it comes standard with the hood vents. And as you can see under the hood, they are functional vents as well. They're not just there for show like some car producers like to do. They are actually functional. So along with the good looks that you get from the hood vents, you also get performance. Unlike the 23s and 24s, the 2025 GR Corolla comes standard with the red calipers. You don't need to get the performance pack anymore. They all come standard with the red calipers and the diffs in front and the rear. Another thing to note here is the matte wheels. These are brand new for the 2025 model year, and this is only available on the Premium Plus, just like this one is. I think Toyota took some cues about how much brake dust we were getting up in the fronts with the gloss black wheels, and they said, hey, we'll give you these for not just road driving with all that brake dust, but also for rally. Now, talking about the Premium Plus GR Corolla, just like the Circuit Editions of 24 and 23, this Premium Plus comes standard with the carbon roof. Aside from the changes in the front, nothing new has really been done to the GR Corolla as far as the exterior is concerned. Obviously with the Premium Plus, you get the gloss black rear bumper as well, but most of the changes are in the motor itself and in the rear suspension. Now taking a look inside of the GR Corolla, nothing much has really changed for the interiors of the 2025s, but there are some nice amenities that came from the Circuit Edition from the 24s and 23s. Taking a look at the door panel here, you could see that there is a nice leather that is on the armrest portion of the door, as well as glossy trim. I'm not a huge fan of that because of the smudging and things like that, but it does look nice. And you can see on the door handle itself a nice gloss as well. Now the red stitching on the leather is only available on the Premium Pluses. The Premiums do have leather, but they only have white stitching. So if you're into all that stuff, well, red is for Premium Plus, white is for Premium. And then on the plastic trim, you can see it's a little bit different. On the Core, at least my 2023, it was just a silver trim, and now it is like a silver metallic kind of flaky looking thing. Still plastic, but cooler looking nonetheless. Looks a bit less cheap, but I'm sure it's still a cost cutter. It is, after all, still a Corolla. Now moving into the driver's side of the cabin, you have nice all-weather floor mats, as well as 3 pedals, the way God intended it. The IMT has actually moved. It's not this little button right here. IMT is now sitting in front of the stick shift. Now coming standard with the Premium and Premium Pluses, you have the nice partial leather, and it looks to be Swede or I think maybe even Alcantara seats right here. Very comfortable. I've been sitting in them obviously for the past 100 miles, and they are very comfortable. Leather headrest, and once again that nicer looking plastic trim. Moving on to the center, obviously no center console. You have this center little holder for your wallet or something else, and your 2 cup holders, very nice. And then a nice leather wrapped handbrake right here for your awesome handbrake turns you're going to be doing in this thing. And once again, that nicer looking trim piece. Taking a seat inside, nice leather wrapped steering wheel with the red stitching once again. And for the Premium Plus, this is actually an option, and mine came with it. This is a HUD. Now I'm going to display that in a second, but this will display some information on your windshield. So it's actually pretty cool. It works better than I thought, and we'll take a look at that in a bit. Now moving on to the shifter, it is actually a leather wrapped knob with, once again, that plastic looking trim on the knob itself. It's a little bit weightier, it feels like, than the originals on my 2023. And honestly, the gear shifts feel just as crisp on the 2023, maybe even better to be honest, but still fantastic to throw around. Now you have your drive modes, same place as they were on the 23s and 24s. traction control, and the worthless wireless charger right here that I just used to store my phone. Now moving on to the diff mode selector, which now reads normal, which used to be front, which is 60/40. And gravel, which used to be track in the 23s and 24s, which is now 50/50. Push for track is now adjustable. Not adjustable by you though, it's adjustable by the computer. So track mode will actually vary from 30/70, more rear bias at times, 60/40 or 50/50, depending on how you're driving the car. The computer will adjust it for you. Moving up to the last bit of the front portion of the car is the nice infotainment system. Same thing as it was on the 23s and 24s. I actually really like this for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, whatever you guys use. And then obviously you have the nice new trim buttons. These actually feel nice. They feel a little bit sturdier than they did in the 2023 Core, and the knobs, same thing. Nicer trim, but they feel pretty sturdy. Now moving on to the back seats. Same thing as the front really. You got the leather wrapped armrest for your side door. Little pockets, your door handle right here. All gloss again. Your one cup holder, new trim, new plastic trim door handles. Coming down here, seat pockets on both sides. Nice all-weather floor mats again. And your nice passenger seats. These feel just as good as the front. So rest assured, your passengers will be just as comfortable as you are in the front. Moving on to the center console of the rear, you have two cup holders in nice leather. And nothing much has changed with the rears, just like the 23s and 24s. With this one though, you have the all-weather floor mats with the weather package. And if you haven't seen the 23s and 24s, your battery's in the back. Now that I'm taking around the exterior and the interior of the car, I think it's about time that we actually get in and I drive you around a little bit. Nothing major though, because I'm still in the break-in process, can't really go above 4K RPM, but we can see how the suspension works, how it handles comparatively to the 23s and 24s. A lot has changed with that, and we'll get to that in the review video and other videos down the line. But we also want to see, is that plus 20 torque actually noticeable in this thing vice the 23s and 24s? So let's get in and see how it drives. So just started up the GR Corolla, and I want to take you to see how this HUD looks really quick. So on the dash, pretty much the same, but with the Premium Plus and the optional HUD, you have data displayed on the windshield. Now there's more than just the miles per hour and that distance thing for your adaptive cruise control, but I'll show that in a later video. But this is the HUD and it is pretty neat. All right, the Corolla is now plenty warmed up. It is time now to take the car out and test the suspension, see if it feels any different. Also, if the plus 20 torque is actually noticeable in the better feeling manual transmission. Pulling away from a stoplight now, and honestly, that extra bump in torque is kind of noticeable. Obviously, I haven't pushed it to any limits yet, but just leaving from a stop, you can kind of feel it compared to the 23s. It's just a little bit noticeable. It doesn't feel like it needs as much to get going, and it really just kind of flows very well getting onto the throttle. Now, when shifting, just as crisp, just as smooth as in the 23, but more so. It's even, like, I would say not clunkier in a bad way, but you can hear the shifts, you can feel the shifts, and it's just so engaging. It just feels even more so. Maybe it's because it's new and I haven't been throwing it around as much yet, but compared to the 23, it feels so much clickier and just so much more just natural for a manual car. And the clutch, let me tell you, the clutch in this 2025 is fantastic. Especially, it's night and day compared to the 2023s. The clutch, it feels so firm. It just feels firm. It feels, you feel so connected to it vice the 23's clutch. I don't know what it is. The 2023's clutch, it kind of felt squishy. It kind of felt a little bit soft and not all there. Even after my clutch replacement, it still didn't feel the way this one feels. This one, it feels like you just have full control over it. This clutch pedal in the 2025, it just has so much feedback. It's so much more predictable. You know what it's gonna do. You know how much you need. It's just so nice. It's so nice not having to think too much about the clutch pedal, and it's just becoming one with you more than the 2023s did. Even during downshifts, it is so crisp. It's so nice. You just know how much pressure you need for the clutch. Heel towing is about the same. Downshifts in the 2025, fantastic. It is just so much nicer than the 2023s. I don't know if it's because of the clutch or what. Maybe they adjusted their throttle pedal too, but heel towing was a little bit troublesome in the 2023 at times. Not terrible, but it wasn't the best. In the 2025 though, I don't know if it's the clutch. The clutch, you feel so much more connected with the clutch pedal. Maybe it's the clutch system as a whole, I don't know. Then leaving the line again, it just requires no effort to get going in first gear. Compared to the 2023, it felt a little bit laggy. Obviously there's turbo lag, but I felt like there was something with the 2023. It just felt like it bogged a little bit. Maybe that was mine and it just had more little issues, but that's what I remember. And it just feels so much more comfortable and just more inviting in a way to drive than the 2023. Now, talking about the suspension is noticeably a bit stiffer than the 2023s. Not by a lot necessarily. It doesn't feel overbearing as a daily driver, but you can definitely tell it's a lot stiffer. The car handles a lot flatter than it did, which was well needed. The rear end in corners does not lift near as much, if really at all, like it did with the 2023s, and I'm assuming 2024s. Now, that being said, the front end also does not dive near as much, if at all, feeling as it did in the 2023s. It just felt very soft, a little bit bouncy in the 23s compared to this. This is forgiving enough in the 2025s that it's not overbearing, like I said, but it gives you that feeling of sportiness and that feeling that it handles. Now, taking this right-hander right here, it just feels so planted. It's basically flat through that little corner. Granted, it was low speed, but it felt so nice and it just rotated the way I needed it to. Getting going, first gear, feels great. Into second. Not as hard into second as it was with the 2023s, but still a little bit rough. But man, do these gears feel freaking great. And the clutch, obviously. I'll say once again, the clutch, so smooth. You can just feel literally everything in the clutch. It's great. Obviously, I haven't hit it too hard yet until the braking process is done. But already, the car handles in corners so much more flat than it did with the 2023. And honestly, the rear end doesn't feel like it picks up as much, but has just as much, if not better, rotation. Where the front end it really just grips. It just grips, it doesn't dive as much, so I don't think there's gonna be as much push. About to turn left at a stoplight right here. Let's see how she handles. Downshift to second. Just so smooth. It felt so flat through that left-hander, and we were going about, I don't know, 28 miles per hour to 30 something. Not taking it too hard or anything, but man, did she handle so well. It rotated very well, as much as I would need it to. It handled so flat. The front didn't dive near as much as I thought it would. It's just so nice. We're about to take a right-hander right here as well. At slower speeds, of course. And here we go with the right-hander. No roll, or barely noticeable roll at that. Shift to second, so crisp, so smooth. Lets you get back on the power immediately. A little bit of brake going into it. Barely any roll, if any, and it just rotated so well. Barely any, like a little bit of steering input obviously, but man, it just really took that corner so well. And you could feel it, how flat it is too. It's just handling so smoothly. It's got that sharpness that you need. The rotation in the back is so noticeable, even at low speeds, especially at low speeds, it seems like. And honestly, that's not even in sport mode. I think sport mode should stiffen up the steering rack quite a bit. But with that, we are now home and it is time for me to clock out. So if you guys found this video informational and you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and ring the bell so you guys be notified of more content like this, racing, all this other stuff coming up to the channel soon. And be sure to leave your comments in the comment section down below. What do you guys want to see from the channel? What do you want to see more of with the 2025 GR Corolla? And also let me know if you guys want me to do more videos like this, reviewing cars and things of that nature. I can make something work probably. And as always, until I see you guys again, keep going fast.